Jeff Bezos appeared to bully the electric car startup Rivian with a tweet essentially pressuring Rivian to switch their focus away from their fans. Forbes contributor Tom Malogny will tell us if we should return that Amazon package back to sender. Plus, in other electric car news, GM's answer to the electric Ford F-150 is finally coming. Tesla is done with Cali, Mercedes EQS gets an unexpected EPA rating, and other electric car news coming up next. Welcome to E4 Electric. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Rivian has become the very first automaker ever to deliver its first all-electric pickup truck to its first customer this month. Huge step for a 10-year-old startup and for the entire electric car revolution. Rivian has also filed for an IPO, which means that they had to disclose a lot of things that we didn't really know about them before, and this is where things got a little interesting. And by interesting, I mean a bit concerning. You see, it appears that Jeff Bezos may have a little more control over Rivian than we might have assumed. It's kind of like Googling your Tinder date right before taking her out and finding out that her daddy is your county sheriff. Per some reports, it appears that Daddy Amazon may own anywhere from 20 to 25% of Rivian, in addition to being its biggest customer, with the 100,000 delivery truck order valued at an estimated $4.5 billion. Speaking of prime benefits, not only that, but it appears that that deal gives Amazon a lot of control over Rivian, including the fact that until the van is ready for production and has passed all government approvals, Amazon can downsize the deal to only buying the skateboards or its components and having another company put together the rest, all the way to pretty much walking away from the whole thing. So the concern now is that Amazon has become such a powerful partner that Rivian has to shift its priorities from the regular customers to, well, Jeff Bezos. Now, originally, Rivian was going to prioritize its electric truck and SUV customer deliveries over Amazon's, and I think the guy who told me that has a pretty good in on what's going on with Rivian.
So we launched our truck and our SUV first. So the truck SUV end of this year, and then the Amazon vehicle is September 2021. So it actually sequences in really nicely. And because the skateboards are shared, so battery, drivetrain, cooling systems are really common, almost identically the same between the two, allows us to go really fast on the Amazon program.
But that's not what really happened. The regular customer orders have been delayed 3 times now, while the first Amazon vans made by Rivian have started doing deliveries several months ago. Per same report from Bloomberg, Rivian's priority now is delivering at least 300 Amazon vans by the end of the year and 10,000 more by the end of the next. So the worry here is that Rivian is being forced to cater to one customer over the community it has built its name around, the adventure-seeking overlanders, off-roaders, and of course, electric vehicle enthusiasts. And if all this wasn't enough, this is what Jeff Bezos has tweeted out to Rivian and RJ just a few days ago, and you can't make this stuff up. Before I show you this stunning tweet from Bezos, a quick reminder that this video is brought to you by the Volkswagen ID4 EV, which I am now a proud owner of. In addition to all of the gadgets and perks, it comes with 3 years of unlimited charging at over 500 Electrify America DC fast chargers here in the United States. See if you love the ID4 as much as I do by exploring the link in the description of this video. So here is what Jeff Bezos has tweeted out to Rivian and its CEO RJ Scaringe earlier this week. The Rivian team is world-class and RJ Scaringe is one of the greatest entrepreneurs I've ever met. Now, RJ, where are our vans? Oh my God. Is this the billionaire equivalent of bitch better have my money? I mean, and on top of that, this is during what's called a quiet period, where a company that filed for an IPO is not supposed to rock the boat or do or say anything that can jeopardize the IPO. Jeff, this is not the time for your Elon Musk Twitter impressions. For more, we turn to the Forbes contributor, the host of the State of Charge YouTube channel, and most importantly, one of those Rivian reservation holders that we were talking about earlier, Tom Moloughney. All right, Tom, first of all, it was great hanging out with you in person for the first time in a year and a half at the Ford's event.
Absolutely. It was so good to see. I mean, it was weird because we see each other every week on the computer, so it didn't feel like I hadn't seen you in a long time, but it was 2 years just about, but it was good to see you in person.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's dive into the story. And, it hit me by surprise, but it looks like you have kind of knew this all along. To me, I always thought that Rivian is a brand that's going to be delivering, electric trucks to the to the masses. But now we're kind of finding out that really their biggest customer is Amazon, bigger than we thought before. Do you think that this is going to kind of jeopardize their part of the business for the regular folk like you and me, where Amazon is really going to demand those vans?
Well, first of all, it's not you and me, it's just me. You don't have a reservation for an R1T. I do. So, yeah, no, I don't, Alex. I'm not concerned about it at all. If you follow the industry, if you followed what was going on with Rivian, you had to know that they were going to get a lot of pressure by Amazon to deliver. I mean, they made a delivery an order that's worth between $4 and $5 billion. Plus, they've invested nearly $2 billion in the company. So yeah, they've got a lot of influence and they have hard contracts with deadlines. There's no deadline on my order with Rivian. So, of course they're going to prioritize getting the vans out over retail customer deliveries. I'm not surprised at all.
Well, what do you think about Jeff Bezos' tweet to RJ? I mean, we don't see that very often where, one CEO tweets out to the CEO of the company they've invested saying, hey, listen, you better deliver.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. But, Jeff Bezos is in the same position. His company hasn't delivered the rocket engines that he was supposed to. He's like 2 years behind on that. So, it's a little, the pot calling the kettle black there. But, it could have been just fun banter between friends. We don't really know. On the surface, it looks like it was a dig, but we don't know what their relationship is, and it could have been taken out of context.
Now let's talk about another part that interesting that we find out from the IPO filing is that Rivian is planning on making a lot of money on consumers after they sell each truck, kind of taking the page out of Tesla's book, and they are planning to charge for self-driving and a lot of other digital services, tens of thousands of dollars over the lifespan of each truck. Do you think that's really the way to go for the entire industry, where it's kind of selling cars now going to be like selling printers, where you make all of your money on ink? And do you really think they can get that much money out of customers over the lifespan of their cars?
So, I do think the industry is moving in that direction. There was a company called Byton a while ago that had Byton Life. Do you remember that? And you were going to subscribe to all different kind of services. And they were talking about that's how they were going to make up for the loss of, say, service revenue, was because they were going to offer all these digital services. So I do think we're going to go in that direction, Alex. So no, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I miss Byton dearly. I do have to say, the couple of weeks of therapy that I'm going to need now that you brought it up. But now, what do you think will be the biggest digital service that these automakers are going to be able to sell? Is this really going to be self-driving? Does that really worth $10,000?
Well, that is going to be a big cash cow, I think, for automakers in the future. That they are going to license their self-driving technology. You won't have to maybe pay for it all up front. You'll have services that you'll subscribe to, but there's going to be a whole ton of different services, honestly, that I can't even think of at this moment that you're going to be able to subscribe to. It's kind of like when smartphones first came out, people didn't realize what apps were, and they were saying, why do I want apps on my phone? Now look at what we have with apps. I mean, the whole point of the cell phone is like what apps you can get on it. I think your car is going to be that type of a device also in the future, where there's going to be services that you're going to subscribe to that, quite honestly, we can't even think of at this moment.
Just in case if you guys are not aware, Tom's got his own YouTube channel. It's called The State of Charge, and I put a link to it in the description of this video so you can check it out and subscribe. Before we get to our next story, let's check out the grumpy comment of the week, and this one comes from Trevor Hemingway. He says, wait, you backed Elon and said he was right? Won't that get you kicked out of the haters union? I know, and I just paid my annual membership fees. And who doesn't like the benefits, including the fact that the hate mail comes directly to your inbox? Very, very convenient. I just hope the union leaders don't find out of all the years of my loyal Tesla ownership or my Tesla owner Facebook communities with over 50,000 members that I run to this day. On to the next story. As you've heard already, Rivian has delivered world's first real electric pickup this month. Ford will follow with the F-150 Lightning next year, and Tesla with its Cybertruck soon after. But GM has been slow to respond until now. That's right, put your fire extinguishers away. GM has announced that they will be unveiling their all-electric pickup Silverado on January 5th at the CES right here in Las Vegas, where I am right now, and I'll be back to cover that event for you as well. As expected, the electric Silverado will have over 400 miles of EPA estimated range, thus easily beating the Lightning in its weakest spec with only 300 miles on one charge. But here's the catch. The deliveries are not expected until late in 2023, and by then it will be even harder for GM to catch up, which makes this little teaser video from GM even more ironic, as they have promised to drive circles around their competition with one of their cooler features of the truck, the all-wheel steering. I think what GM should really be circling is these executives should all be fired for not keeping the brand competitive. A perfect circle. GM has also announced a new self-driving product, but we'll get back to it in just a second because Tesla doesn't really like when we don't talk about them for too long. So let's get to it. Elon Musk has made a big announcement last week at Tesla's annual shareholder meeting.
And then I'm excited to announce that we're moving our headquarters to Austin, Texas.
Now, it's no secret that California has been losing its appeal to business owners over the last decade, with Oracle, HP, Toyota, and many other companies moving their US headquarters to Texas from California. But the reasons that Elon gave in his announcement were a bit odd.
If you go to our Fremont factory, it is jammed. I mean, it is jammed. It's like, whoa. And when we first went in there, it was like, you know, we're like a kid in his parents' shoes. It was ridiculous, like tiny us and giant factory. And now we're like a spam in a can here. Like, how do we fit more stuff? And it's tough for people to afford houses, and a lot of people have to come in from far away.
Now, I get that the Fremont factory is a bit crowded, but what does it have to do with Tesla's headquarters that are located about 20 minutes away in Palo Alto, California? But I do agree that it is tough for people to afford houses down there. I've even heard a rumor that their CEO is roughing it in a tiny little house that he doesn't even own. But all of this has started back in May of last year, when Elon Musk was not happy that Tesla had to follow the county rules during the first months of the pandemic, calling the lockdowns fascist and predicting that the whole thing would be over by April. But much like with many Tesla product launches, Elon was very much right about the outcome, but off by about 2 years. And of course, the new Tesla headquarters will be located in the very state where sales of Tesla vehicles are prohibited. And once Tesla starts producing them at their Austin factory, they will have to be shipped out of state and then imported back for anyone in Texas to own one. Can't make them in California during COVID, can't sell them in Texas after. You know, there are like 48 other states, right? GM had another announcement to make this week, introducing the Ultra Cruise, the next generation hands-free driving assistance system. Now, the current Super Cruise system that premiered in 2017 can only be used on divided highways where it occasionally tries to run random YouTubers into freeway dividers in other cars. Now, the Ultra Cruise is apparently planning to do the same to us in 95% of all driving scenarios when it launches in 2023. I'm scared already. The biggest changes from the Super Cruise to the Ultra Cruise are the addition of a LiDAR and a new computing platform. Now, a quick suggestion, GM, if you don't mind, before changing the Super to Ultra, maybe you guys can think about getting the Cruise part right first. Mercedes-Benz EQS, the upcoming EV, which I think may just be the best car on the market, has just gotten its EPA rating at 350 miles. But much like its exterior design, the range has been a bit of a letdown based on the original concept, which was so beautiful it has permanently been featured in my channel's intro. Now, originally, Mercedes has targeted 400 miles of EPA range, but even the 350 that it ended up with is still the third best to only Lucid and Tesla. Now, the interesting thing about the electric EQS is that unlike many other electric vehicles, its starting price of around $100,000 is less than the S-Class, its gas-powered counterpart. The EQS will be on sale before the end of the year. Don't forget to join me for my subscriber hangout live on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time with my special guest, Miss Go Electric. You can set a reminder on my homepage. I hope to see all of you there, but for now, I'm looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.